Hello crafters and welcome back to the This Calls for Confetti YouTube channel. My name is Deepa from Designs by D and I'm so happy you could join me today. Please don't forget to like and subscribe so that you can enjoy more of this crafty goodness. So today I have a card that doesn't really look like it, but it's got a lot going on with it. We've got a double-sided window here and we've also got a shaker element to this card. And this card was made using most of the May release, which includes all of these gorgeous birthday elements, and it features that arched window theme that this calls for confetti has going on here. There are tons of products which coordinate from the past and from the current release, so let's go ahead and put them all together and create something really fun. So the first product I had there was the Under the Lanterns Ephemera. There are 4 different scenes and lots of duplicates there that you can use for multiple projects. We've got the Windowscapes Storybook Arch Window and Arch die set. So the Arch die set is the older set, the Storybook Arch is new, and then we've also got the Diamond Trellis embossing folder, which is completely new and the first embossing folder in the TCFC line. So there will be more, so look out for that. I'm also going to be using white and platinum glitter confetti to create our shaker card. And then I've also got the This Calls for Confetti foilable acetate sheets. I'm not going to be foiling on them, but the acetate is going to come in handy for our shaker element. So this is the colorway I'm using. You can see I've picked cardstock that matches the colorway of the ephemera to keep everything cohesive. So first of all, I went ahead and I cut out all of the dies from the Storybook Arch. And you can see you get like that arch frame with the bottom, there's nothing on the bottom. And that I think is just basically so you can adjust the sizing if you really wanted to. I'm going to attach the bricks on the arch. And when you do this, you'll notice that the die cuts it out with a little space between the bricks. And this is in order to create that brick look that you would get for this arch. So when you do put it together, I recommend putting the 2 smaller, you'll see like there's 2 smaller rectangular pieces that go on either side of the arch. Position those on the left and right side, and then position the 2 bricks which would go in the center at the top of the arch as well, and then work outwards that way. I didn't do that here, but that's what I would recommend doing if I were to do this again. I did kind of just put like a big string of glue along the top of the arch. I wouldn't recommend doing that either because, as I mentioned, these bricks are made to have like a little bit of space between them to give them that handmade look. And the feel of it is more like stone masonry, like a little more, rugged and vintage looking, right? So I would put glue on each of those bricks separately and then place them down over that arch in order to get the desired look. So you'll notice that there's like a larger brick that goes on the top and the middle and the bottom. I put those both on there with some metallic gold cardstock to give it a bit of a classy look, I would say. Now I'm taking the extra bricks that would go along the bottom and I'm setting those aside, and now I'm going to actually cut the panel that's going to create the pocket on the front of the card. I have put up for you measurements of how to cut it. We've got a cut at 4 3/4 and then at 5 3/4, and then we're going to score this in the places that I've listed up at the top corner as well, in order to get like 3 lips on the left and right side and then the bottom to create our pocket. So to start with, you want to place your panel on your scoreboard in the top corner in the portrait orientation. You're going to score at 1/4 inch and 4.5 to get the side scores, and then turn it and score it at 1/4 inch in order to get the bottom lip. Then we're going to cut the corners so that we can easily fold up these little flaps when we attach it to create our pocket. And you'll notice that our main panel, which is 4 1/4 by 5.5, fits on the front perfectly. So now we're going to go ahead and grab those arch dies. I'm grabbing the die that's second from the largest, and you can see that it's the same size as the ephemera. I'm going to put on my peach cardstock here, and I'm going to actually just temporarily tape it down with some low tack tape, or I've got some washi tape here. And this is so that we can cut through both layers. Now I'm not attaching it and then like attaching it permanently and then doing this, because I do want to take off that peach layer and emboss it. So I put this through my die cutting machine. You might have to run it through twice because you are cutting through 2 layers. Look at the back, make sure you can see that it's cut through completely, and then you can take that center arch frame out. You can go ahead and remove your tape very carefully, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to emboss this. So make sure you line this up, because the Diamond Trellis does have like linear lines to it. So if it's kind of at an angle, you're going to see that. Unless that's the look you're going for, it's completely up to you. So I've gone ahead and I've embossed that. I will mention that I find that this embossing folder is a little bit on the thinner side compared to others. So you might need a shim with your die cutting machine in order to get the right amount of embossing and to have your image and have that Diamond Trellis show up so nicely. Now I've taken my acetate, I've cut a rectangular piece that's going to cover up that arch for one side of my shaker, and then I've gone ahead and I've cut out another arch using the larger die in the arch die set that's going to create like a little bit of a lip over the edge so that we can create our shaker. So keep in mind, when you cut out the acetate with the arch, use the larger size, not the smaller, so that you have enough space to kind of attach your foam to create the shaker. Quick tip, if you have any smudges on your acetate, just add a bit of water and wipe it off with a soft cloth. It comes off and it looks perfect in the end. I'm going to go ahead and attach some foam. Actually, first of all, I've got just some strong double-sided tape here, and I'm putting it around the arch on the white portion of our pocket. So this is all to create the shaker portion, which is a complete different component than the changing face of the ephemera arch scene, right? So I'm going to go ahead and remove the backing off the double-sided tape, and then I can attach that rectangular acetate. So remember, this one didn't have to be an arch because it's just creating like the base of our shaker. Make sure that the rectangle fits within the rectangle of your card front and doesn't go over the flaps that we're going to be folding in to create the pocket. And then once that's done, now you can put your next layer on. So this is going to be foam adhesive. I have some thin foam adhesive strips, which will work perfectly for this. This is creating our shaker compartment here. So make sure when you put the foam adhesive on, you're butting one strip up against the other so that you can create a completely enclosed compartment so that your shaker elements don't kind of fall out of your card. So I'll put this around the entire arch, and then I'm going to add some of the embossing, the anti-static powder tool here, in order to make sure that we don't get our shaker bits kind of sticking to the adhesive when we do put them in. I'm going to go ahead and I've added both of those shaker glitter confetti bits. So we've got the platinum and the white shaker bits here, which are really pretty. I've attached the die cut arch from the acetate on top of that, and we get a fun shaker element going here. I'm going to go ahead and fold up those flaps, all 3 flaps, in order to create the pouch. And then I have to attach that peach embossed front of the card, or that arch frame. And I'm using some more foam adhesive here. I'm just using some foam squares. They are at the same height as the foam that was used to create the shaker compartment. So everything is going to line up and kind of be at the same height and width. So I did add a little bit of tape runner there to the inside of the arch so that it would attach to the acetate that is overhanging. So we got a nice good seal going on here. Then I'm going to go ahead and attach some more strong double-sided adhesive to all 3 flaps of our pouch. Before I go ahead and attach the pouch, I will put on that storybook arch to make sure that everything kind of lines up nicely. You can see it fits right around that arch perfectly. It's so gorgeous. The dimension and everything is just amazing. It's starting to really come together here. And here is where I can go ahead and put those extra bricks that are supposed to go at the bottom of this frame. So again, don't follow exactly what I did here, but I would recommend when doing this, put the 2 bricks in the center there, put a little bit of space between them, and then line up your bricks on either side of those so that they create like a continuous brick wall, and then you can attach that gold or that extra brick in the center there to kind of finish it off. and that will kind of cover up the space between the two bricks in the center. Now my next step is going to be to stamp out my sentiment. I've got Alice's Story birthday sentiments here, which I'm going to stamp out using some black ink here. You can see that it stamps all of these gorgeous birthday sentiments out, which work perfectly with this ephemera since it is birthday theme. I'm going to stamp those all out, and then I'm actually just going to go ahead and use my guillotine cutter to just cut a strip of the sentiment that I'm looking for, which is the Let's Celebrate sentiment here. I've got that cut out. I can go ahead and cut off the extra bits on the ends, and then I'm actually going to go ahead and attach this to some more gold metallic shiny cardstock here, which matches with those two bricks that I have on the storybook arch, which I thought just kind of ties everything together nicely. I put that aside for the meantime, and I'm going to go ahead and grab some more of these foam adhesive squares here. Now this one has a width that's a little smaller. It's like half the height of the foam pieces that we use for the shaker. So it's not sitting as high here, so it's not going to create too much extra depth, and it's really just there as a guideline for your ephemera arch image to kind of go in and sit in the right spot so that it's not kind of moving all over the place there. Now I've removed the backing to that strong adhesive that I put on all three flaps, and I've lined it up with the front of my card base here. And I'm just going to make sure I'm using a ruler to kind of stick it in there to make sure that those flaps are fully adhered. And then I have my ephemera set here. So I'm going to pick two images here, two different images. I've got one that has like these blue balloons on it, which I think are really pretty. It gives it a nice pop of color that the rest of the card doesn't have. And then I've got one with like just all the peach kind of colors on it. So I'm going to go ahead and add some adhesive to the back of this. And then I've got a piece of ribbon here, which I've cut. This is just some gray shiny ribbon, and I'm going to fold it in half and attach it at the top of this arched ephemera to be kind of like a handle so that your recipient knows, hey, do something with this. You can pull it out and flip it over. So I'm going to attach this, and I'm just sandwiching it in between the two ephemera arched windows here. So now you can see that you can just kind of tuck this here into the little compartment of our card front. You can shake it around, get that glitter confetti kind of going all over the place to create a nice shaker. Flip the image if you don't want that one. And it just creates like a nice little fun interactive element. You have the shaker element, and then you can kind of flip the scene if you want to do that. The last thing I have to do here is to attach my sentiment. So I'm just going to attach that with some more foam squares, and I'll just put it near the bottom where all of that glitter confetti is sitting. And you can just see how fun it is to kind of interchange that image and change the scene of this card, which I think is just really fun. So I hope that you have been inspired to create something similar here. Everything I've used is linked down in the description down below, and I really do thank you for joining me today. I hope that the project is something that you want to try. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys again next time. Bye.